This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 4th day of April in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The government of Guyana has put Venezuela, the Caribbean and Latin American region, and the international community on notice that it will not countenance the annexation, seizure, or occupation of any part of Guyana's sovereign territory. The warning from Guyana comes in wake of the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, signing into law legislation for the defense of Guyana's Essequibo region, which makes up 2/3 of Guyana's territory. The new law claims Guyana's Essequibo as a Venezuelan state and has declared that residents of Essequibo will be able to participate in the next Venezuelan elections. The Venezuelan law also prohibits the issuance of maps of Venezuela that do not include Guyana's Essequibo region. In a statement, the Guyana government said the attempt by Caracas to annex Guyana's sovereign territory and make it part of Venezuela is an egregious violation of the most fundamental principles of international law, enshrined in the United Nations Charter, the Charter of the Organization of American States, and customary international law. The government also said the move by Venezuela contradicts the letter and spirit of the joint declaration of Argyle for dialogue and peace between Guyana and Venezuela, which was agreed to during the December 14 meeting between the presidents of the two countries in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The government has described the latest move by Venezuela as unlawful, adding that it calls into question Venezuela's obligation to abide by the principles of the Argyle Declaration. The government of Guyana reminded that it is as a result of the 1966 Geneva Agreement, to which Venezuela and Guyana are parties, that the International Court of Justice has ruled that it has jurisdiction to make a decision on the case brought before the court by Guyana regarding the validity of the 1899 arbitral award, which definitively settled the land boundary between Guyana and Venezuela. The government noted that the International Court's decision will be final and binding on both parties, and if Venezuela wants to contest title to the territory in question, the proper forum is the International Court of Justice. The Guyana government has said it has also taken note of what it calls the offensive and undignified statements made by President Nicolas Maduro about the president of Guyana, Irfan Ali. The Venezuelan president has described the Guyanese president as a puppet. The Guyana government statement said it is unfortunate that the commitment made at Argyle to the pursuance of good neighborliness, peaceful coexistence, and unity of Latin America and the Caribbean is now again seriously threatened by Venezuela and the words of its president. President Irfan Ali and President Nicolas Maduro exchanged gifts in St. Vincent 1 month ago, as the two attended a meeting of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. President Ali at that time declared the exchange of gifts as a peace offering. The two leaders met in St. Vincent back in December as tensions soared between them as Venezuela stepped up its claim and rhetoric about Guyana's Essequibo region and also advanced its plans to annex Guyana's territory. The international community has warned Venezuela against taking any action that could threaten the peace of the region. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Micro, small, medium enterprises can expect significant support in 2024. The sum of $450 million was allocated to the Small Business Development Fund and $331 million for the Small Business Bureau. This will provide for the disbursement of 100 loans and 1,362 grants to businesses. Additionally, 2,800 businesses will receive training in apiculture, farming, livestock, poultry rearing, and micro-enterprise. This and more are initiatives of the 2024 national budget, which is being supported by revenues earned from oil production.
Linden, it's time for the official Linden Town Week Big People Party. This year, Big Man to a Skylark. Join Go Mosley Entertainment on Thursday the 2nd of May at the Mackenzie Bandstand for 5 big bands: Stitchy, Super Ray, Murphy, the Castro Brothers, and for the first time in Linden, the one-woman band Queen Makiba.
But when I see what I was getting, boy, I start to shiver, cause I know I'm gonna hear baby that's get me young boy.
Plus DJ Granny Ivy will be live. Party like never before. It's a one-man band and one-woman band fete for Linden Town Week. Thursday the 2nd of May at the Mackenzie Bandstand. Big Man to a Skylark. Compliments of GTT, Sheriff Security, 592Ts, Banks Beer, Guinness, and XM Rum. Drink responsibly for the official Linden Town Week Big People Party. Big Man to a Skylark.
Holiday spending put a dent in your cash. Top up your pockets in the Cash Splash promotion. Win over $5 million, including over $1 million in our weekly draws. Just purchase any Buster, Turbo, Fruita, Cool Kids, or Viva. Look for the 8-digit code starting with 786. Then visit Facebook or IG at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean for more details.
Guinness Street Ballers, it's down to the final 8 this Saturday in the Guinness Greatest of Districts and Sunday for the semi-finals and finals at the National Park. Will Gold is Money make history with a 3rd championship, or is there an upset in the making? Come and support your community and show that you're made of more. Consumers can win free Guinness and cool premiums with the purchase of every 6 bottles of Guinness. Admission free. Guinness, made of more. Please drink responsibly, 18 years and over.
Well, opposition leader Aubrey Norton today accused the government of dropping the ball on the border issue with Venezuela as the neighboring country continues with its threats and plans to annex Guyana's Essequibo region. At a press conference today, Mr. Norton said several recommendations which were made by the opposition to assist the government on the issue were never taken into consideration. He said the government has been operating in a laid-back position since the meeting between President Finale and the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro back in December. Norton said Guyana should have never scaled back its efforts in educating the population and constantly updating the international community on the issue and Venezuela's aggression. He said those efforts should have been intensified.
There is no consistent organized education of the people of Guyana. After Argyle, I sense Finale decided that all is good and well. I think he misses the importance of a proactive diplomatic effort as well as a proactive PR effort.
The opposition leader has proposed the commencement of a widespread public relations campaign in Latin America and the Caribbean, where he's of the view that persons are now learning about the historical context of the controversy. He said while Guyana is lagging behind in this regard, Venezuela continues to push its case.
He had said to the government, you need to start a public relation campaign in Latin America and the Caribbean, because a lot of people in those parts of the world didn't know about the arbitral award of 1899. The government had failed to do that. We had said to the government that you need to have a more proactive approach in terms of dealing with border communities and Essequibo in general, and Guyana. And they have failed to do that. Apart from producing some handbills that says Essequibo is our own, which nothing is wrong with. They did nothing more.
In addition, Mr. Norton said the Guyana government must also look to restructure the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where positions of the administration are communicated on a real-time basis to diplomatic staff throughout the world, so that Guyana's position is clearly outlined. He has condemned the recent action by the Venezuelan president to sign new legislation into law, maintaining Venezuela's claim of Guyana's Essequibo region and declaring its plan to defend the Essequibo as its own territory. Norton said the latest action by Venezuela, as well as the buildup of troops near the bordering region and the Venezuelan referendum, are highly provocative, and Venezuela should act in accordance with international law. As the government of Guyana moves to rally the support of the international community against Venezuela's latest move in its plans to annex Guyana's Essequibo region, opposition member of parliament with responsibility for foreign affairs, Amanza Walton Desir, has declared the new Venezuelan law to be null, void, and of no legal effect.
We have stated very clearly that we believe that this law, this purported law, is null, void, of no legal effect to us here in Guyana, and we certainly view this latest action by the Maduro regime as being contrary to all of the tenets of international law and the international legal order. It is in breach of the Argyle Declaration, and really it's just another step in a series of actions that he would have taken. This is President Maduro in pursuit of his unfounded and illegal claim on our Essequibo.
The opposition member of parliament said the opposition joins the government in condemning the action in Caracas, which is not only in flagrant violation of the cornerstone tenets of the international legal order, but also directly transgresses the letter and spirit of the joint declaration of Argyle.
And so we are in agreement with the government in this regard, that certainly this is unacceptable, and we are calling on Venezuela to demonstrate maturity, to demonstrate its commitment to international law and its commitment to the preservation of this region as a zone of peace.
MP Walton Desir said Guyana looks forward to the continued unequivocal support of the international community in the preservation of Guyana's sovereignty and territorial integrity and the maintenance of the region as a zone of peace.
We are immensely grateful for the support of the international community in this regard, and we said earlier that we look forward to the continued and unequivocal support of the international community in preserving Guyana's territorial integrity and sovereignty and in maintaining this region as a zone of peace.
As we reported earlier, the Venezuelan president on Wednesday signed new legislation into law, maintaining Venezuela's claim of Guyana's Essequibo region and declaring its plan to defend the Essequibo as its own territory. The Guyana government has rejected the actions and plans of the Venezuelan regime. Describing the situation at the state-owned Guyana Power and Light Company as bad, Vice President Barajactio this afternoon promised that the government will continue to work to reduce the power cuts currently being experienced by citizens across the country. At his weekly press conference today, the Vice President said the frustrations of citizens over the frequent blackouts are justified. He said even his livelihood is disrupted by the blackouts, although he has a generating system. He explained that the situation at GPL is that the demand for power has now outstripped GPL's capacity, resulting in the frequent disruptions.
Now the situation is bad. There's no sugarcoating this. That we have a situation at GPL that we've explained 100 times before. But often explanations don't suit people when their light goes off because it disrupts their lifestyle. It disrupts their normal activities. It causes untold hardships for them. Sometimes their equipment, they get destroyed. So I understand the feeling there.
GPL currently has an installed capacity of 166 megawatts, while the current demand is over 180 megawatts. Mr. Jagdeo said the issues facing GPL should be blamed on the former administration and its non-support of the Amila Falls hydropower project, which he believes would have been able to meet the current energy demands.
So now, what we have in these 3.5 years, we have bought maybe about 40 megawatts, just over 40 megawatts of power, maybe near 50 megawatts of power. But we have these old units that should have been replaced in 2017 by Amila that we still have to coax along. And what has happened is that the demand has grown. Now, anyone here in Guyana would understand what the growth in demand.
According to the Vice President, with all of the development taking place across the country, the demand for electricity could be expected to expand to 300 megawatts. He said the power problems should be completely addressed when the gas-to-energy project comes fully on stream next year.
Our medium-term plan, next year, 300 megawatts coming in to replace all of these. Right now, we're looking to buy another maybe 40 to 80 megawatts of power. We are already in the process of doing this because for 2 years, we will buy this power until the gas-to-energy project comes.
Opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson has said that the coalition left GPL on solid footing. He said although the government continues to blame the opposition, the current administration has been in office for 4 years and the blackouts have worsened. He said GPL continues to be badly managed by the current government and its chosen leadership at the power company.
Linden, it's time for the official Linden Town Week Big People Party. This year, Big Man Tour Skylark. Join Go Mosley Entertainment on Thursday the 2nd of May at the Mackenzie Bandstand for 5 big bands, Stitchy, Super Ray, Murphy, the Castro Brothers, and for the first time in Linden, the one-woman band Queen Makiba.
Oh, when I see what I was getting, boy, I start to shiver, cause I know I'm unable with that. Give me young boy.
Plus DJ Granny Ivy will be live. Party like never before. It's a one-man band and one-woman band fete for Linden Town Week. Thursday the 2nd of May at the Mackenzie Bandstand. Big Man Tour Skylark. Compliments of GTT, Sheriff Security, 592Ts, Banks Beer, Guinness, and XM Rums. Drink responsibly for the official Linden Town Week Big People Party. Big Man Tour Skylark.
Guinness Street Ballers, it's down to the final 8 this Saturday in the Guinness Greatest of the Streets and Sunday for the semi-finals and finals at the National Park. Will Gold is Money make history with a 3rd championship, or is there an upset in the making? Come and support your community and show that you're made of more. Consumers can win free Guinness and cool premiums with the purchase of every 6 bottles of Guinness. Admission free. Guinness, made of more. Please drink responsibly, 18 years and over.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo, from its pristine rivers to its abundant resources. It's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
The Guyana Public Service Union, the GPSU, has notified the Minister of Labour, Joe Hamilton, of its intention to initiate industrial action over the government's failure to engage the union in collective bargaining. In a letter dated the 3rd of April 2024, GPSU's General Secretary, Kempton Alexander, told the Labour Minister that the union has had enough and can no longer accept the present situation under the yoke of starvation wages. Elaborating on the latest correspondence issued to the government, GPSU President Patrick Yard told reporters that the union has been more than patient, and it is time that the government respects the union and engage in collective bargaining. He said the government has the resources to pay workers better salaries, as he rejected the contention by Vice President Barrett Jagdeo that oil prices are volatile and may not be able to sustain a 50% increase in salaries for public sector workers.
It bothers me, you know, he was a finance minister of this country. He caused the 1999 strike when agreeing to 3% over a period of 10 years. When 31% was paid in 1 year, and it didn't wreck this economy, but he said how inflation would have occurred that would have destroyed this economy. Now he's saying here volatile oil prices was a reason for not increasing wages and salary. Guyana is an oil producing country, said it this year. If prices of oil go up, is more revenue this country is getting, how would it impact upon the ability of the government to pay more money?
Yard said the union has exhausted all available avenues to safeguard and protect the rights of public sector workers. He explained that the GPSU back in September of last year wrote to the Chief Labour Officer requesting conciliation as a result of the breakdown in talks between the union and the Public Service Ministry. However, the Chief Labour Officer never responded until February of this year. In that response, the Chief Labour Officer said advice garnered from the Solicitor General indicated that it was not for him to act, since the union and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Service are currently in court over the very issue of collective bargaining. But Yard rejected that position.
But we asked the Ministry of Labour to conciliate, which is the second step. And we have the evidence which we'll share with you. It took 148 days for the Chief Labour Officer to reply to us. And he only did so after we wrote him indicating that we've lost confidence in him. And then the outrageous situation was that in his reply to us after we wrote him then, he will send to us a copy of advice given by the Solicitor General, who is under the Attorney General, who we're in court with, to get an order for the government to respect this agreement.
The GPSU has explained that in September of 2020, the union submitted its proposals for salaries, wages, and allowances for public sector workers to the government. But to date, there has been no real push by the Irfan Ali administration to consider the proposal. The union said the proposal was in keeping with the many promises of the government. More than 5,000 pounds of cocaine was found in a self-propelled semi-submersible vessel off the coast of Guyana during a joint operation on the 21st of March. The joint operation brought together the Guyana Country Office of the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, the Joint Interagency Task Force South, Guyana's Customs Anti-narcotics Unit, and the U.S. Coast Guard. In a statement today, the U.S. Embassy here in Georgetown said the submarine was located just about 150 miles off the coast of Guyana, carrying 5,214 pounds of cocaine. It was explained that the U.S. Navy's guided missile cruiser USS Letty Gulf interdicted the vessel, resulting in the arrest of 4 persons and the seizure of the cocaine. The embassy said the landmark semi-submersible vessel seizure will be prosecuted in the U.S. The names of those arrested have not been released. However, news source has since learned that those arrested are linked to drug operations in Europe and South America and are not Guyanese nationals. Contacted by news source today, Director of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, James Singh, would only say that the investigation remains active as cooperation continues between KANU and the other international agencies. The U.S. Embassy said the U.S. government remains committed to its support of the Guyana government and its Caribbean partners in developing ever greater capacity to disrupt illegal trafficking and transnational crime to advance citizen security. Just this past weekend, KANU and Guyana Coast Guard ranks conducting an operation in the Essequibo region were able to intercept a go-fast boat, which was found with just over 1,100 pounds of cocaine. 2 Venezuelan men who were found on the boat with the illegal drugs have since been charged for the drug shipment, and they have been remanded to jail. Well, the troubling situation with the wildfires in the indigenous riverine community of Santa Mission has reached crisis level, and the Guyana Fire Service, with support of other government agencies, today started the evacuation of residents from the area. In a statement this morning, the fire service indicated that the situation has reached a stage where it is impossible for firefighters to access the affected areas for extinguishing efforts. It said as a result, the focus has shifted to ensuring the safety and well-being of the residents through swift evacuation measures. According to the fire service, the dense smoke emanating from the fire has prompted the evacuation of 13 individuals from Santa Mission and the neighboring village. Some of the evacuees have found temporary shelter at the Tamari Primary School, while others are being accommodated at the homes of their relatives. Firefighters, members of the joint services and volunteers have been working to manage the situation and provide necessary support to those impacted by the fire. The densely forested area where the fires have been spotted has made it difficult for the firemen to get to the source of the fire.
In our search for sophistication and grace, the Super Stylistics team invites you to be part of something extraordinary. Mothers and daughters who possess aura and presence that transcend through time. Step forward and become part of the Mother and Daughter Pageant 2024. Join our legacy as we redefine elegance for generations to come. The search for the epitome of timeless love begins now. Call 226-2825 or 626-0460 to secure your spot in the Mother and Daughter Pageant 2024.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Holiday spending put a dent in your cash. Top up your pockets in the Cash Splash Promotion. Win over $5 million, including over $1 million in our weekly draws. Just purchase any Buster, Turbo, Fruita, Cool Kids or Viva. Look for the 8-digit code starting with 786. Then visit Facebook or IG at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean for more details.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall in the region. Peru's Congress today voted twice against formally debating the launch of a process to impeach under fire President Dina Boluarte, who is facing a probe into her possession of expensive jewelry, including luxury Rolex watches. According to Reuters, Boluarte, a former vice president who was rapidly sworn in as head of state by Congress in 2022 after her predecessor was impeached, is facing a probe for alleged illicit enrichment by improperly acquiring the high-end Rolex watches. She has denied all wrongdoing, but the case was further complicated this week when the probe expanded into bank deposits of unknown origin and other jewelry. Congress on Wednesday backed the government's new slate of ministers in a vote of confidence in the latest cabinet. Nearly a third of ministers resigned earlier this week following a weekend raid at Boluarte's residence. Today, lawmakers rejected two separate motions to bring the topic of impeachment to debate. The first motion was rejected with 49 votes against to 33 in favor, while 12 abstained. The second met a similar fate, with 29 against, 32 in favor, while 11 abstained. Tens of thousands of people have fled the Haitian capital, Port-au-Prince, to escape a surge in gang violence over the past weeks, according to the BBC. UN figures suggest more than 53,000 left the city of 3 million between the 8th and 27th of March. The UN is warning that the rural regions to which many have fled are not equipped to deal with such a large influx of displaced people. Meanwhile, gangs are attacking businesses in the capital, torching pharmacies and vandalizing schools. Haiti's national police succeeded in repelling an attack on the presidential palace on Monday, but armed men stormed the nearby State University of Haiti hospital, known by its initial HUEH, to use it as their command center. And finally tonight, international news. The United States issued its strongest public rebuke toward Israel on Thursday since the start of the Gaza war, conditioning support for Israel's offensive on concrete Israeli steps to address the safety of aid workers and Palestinian civilians. According to Reuters, U.S. President Joe Biden, a staunch supporter of the offensive until now, called for an immediate ceasefire in a call with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu following an Israeli attack on a World Central Kitchen charity convoy this week that killed 7 food aid workers. The White House said Biden made clear the need for Israel to announce and implement a series of specific, concrete, and measurable steps to address civilian harm, humanitarian suffering, and the safety of aid workers. The White House, in a statement, said President Biden made clear that U.S. policy with respect to Gaza will be determined by its assessment of Israel's immediate action on those steps. The statement reflected a sharp change in Biden's tone, and for what appears to be the first time, a set of strings attached to continued U.S. support. Biden staunchly supported Israel, even when other governments sought to put more pressure on Israel. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.